Hello everyone, Professor Money Picturing. Today, May 18, 2024, let's talk about Iovance ASCO conference. The Amtagvi plus Keytruda clinical trial, the 202 readout, could be really positive and stock might steal 3 times from here, go up 3 times from here. So let's take a look. On the left is the Iovance daily chart. As we predicted, FDA approval, $9 prop to $18. Really nice. And however, it has been a very nice daily downtrend, which is quite disappointing. Right now, barely hanging above 200-day EMA, which is $10. And the last video, we actually mentioned why the stock price sold off in the earning calls, after the earning calls. So the last thing we have to mention is about ASCO data that we're going to cover in this video. And to be honest, this price action is quite disappointing to us and surprising. Right, this is stock that can cure cancer. However, the stock price has not been continue to push up as we expected. To be honest, we are more expecting this readout type of stock price action. After the FDA approval, our entry price $28 pushed up to around $90, consolidated for about 5 months, and eventually got acquired on $167. So we eventually add up, our average was around $34 in our benchmarking account we shared with the Discord members, and eventually bank about 385%. So we do expect this type of price action. Instead, right now, IOVA, a nice pop after FDA approval, right, tanking down. But eventually, if this data will performs well, we think the price will eventually push up and get acquired. Okay, so really quick disclaimer, currently long Iovance stocks and long call options. We do not represent any pharmaceutical company. Any medical question, please consult your own doctors. We're not financial advisors. Please invest at your own risks. So a few more terminology to clear up. So what is ASCO, American Society of Clinical Oncology? So one thing you have to notice is the abstract will be released on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. So potentially, if the abstract gives a lot of information about how this data performed, you might see the Iovance stocks start to move already. The actual speak of this data is on May 31st, 2024, presented by these 2 doctors, okay? 2:45 to 5:45 Central Time, since the conference will happen in Chicago. A few more terminology to clear up. So first is a checkpoint inhibitor. It's a type of cancer immunotherapy that uses body's immune system to fight cancer. And among them, one of the most popular protein to target is called PD-1 or PD-1. It's programmed cell death protein 1. And one of the Merck's best-selling checkpoint inhibitor cancer drug is targeting this PD-1. It's called Keytruda. Okay, and Keytruda has an academic name. It's called pembrolizumab. So those are the terms that you will see continuously in the next few videos. And the next one is Amtagvi. So Iovance approval TIL therapy. And there are 2 clinical trials we're going to mention. One is the Iovance 301 phase 3 trial. Is to see how Amtagvi plus Keytruda perform versus Keytruda alone. So they want to see if Amtagvi plus Keytruda really outperform Keytruda itself. And the target patient will be either treated or untreated prior to the therapy of Amtagvi plus Keytruda or Keytruda, unresectable or metastatic melanoma patients. And the one that ASCO is going to announce is IOV-COM-202 phase 2 trial. Is just to see how Amtagvi plus Keytruda perform against unresectable or metastatic melanoma. Okay, so that's the key differences of these 2 clinical trials that we're going to mention. So there are 4 reasons we think this data in ASCO could be quite positive. First, on March 26, 2024, the Iovance management actually have accidentally hinted that the 301 phase 3 data actually has response rate double from previous study in the fireside chat. And let's take a look.
So we're looking at that now with our confirmatory trial, TILVANCE 301, which looks at TIL with Pembro versus Pembro alone with crossover. And we're seeing some, and that was developed with 2 primary endpoints of ORR and PFS. And again, if we look at our previously disclosed basket trial that looked at patients who were immune checkpoint naive who received TIL and checkpoint, we saw response rates that more than double what we saw with in the second line space.
And second, also, on March 14, 2024, the Stanford University oncologist Dr. Allison Warner also mentioned that melanoma patients who didn't respond to the first round of Keytruda treatment and receive Amtagvi after the failed first round of Keytruda treatment will respond to Keytruda after the second round of Keytruda treatment, which is amazing news. And they said they're trying to push more data about it. And let's see what she says.
For the patients who don't or won't respond, patients do frequently go on to other lines of therapy. They may choose to do a clinical trial after that. And most are eligible for clinical trials after TIL. Some will choose to retry a checkpoint inhibitor, actually. We've sort of reset the immune response with TIL. And there have been patients who have responded to checkpoint inhibitors after getting TIL when they did not previously respond. And that's actually some data that we're trying to pull together for a conference later this year to really try to understand that.
Okay, that's what she says, right? It sounds really crazy. So it looks to me, from the point 1 to point 2, it's highly likely that Amtagvi plus Keytruda clinical trial in the 303 will show really, really positive results, right? And let's look at the third reason, is we noticed that Iovance is expanding ACTs like crazy. And also, this is an indirect suggestion that the May 31st data is going to be good, right? So look at the Iovance career page. They currently have 68 openings. A lot of them are around their manufacturer pipeline. And that's about 12% of their corporate headcount expansion. And if they don't think Amtagvi doesn't have that demand, plus Amtagvi data is not good, why would they spend so much money and time to have so many openings? And we actually have seen so many openings, and the number of openings continue to increase since the FDA approval from February this year. So that also gave me a very indirect suggestion and data and evidence that this data is probably going to be really good, right? And the third is also indirect suggestion, more maybe a speculation, is Iovance wouldn't make the trouble to present this data in ASCO all of a sudden, right? They just planned it about 2-3 weeks ago, or at least announced it 2-3 weeks ago. So if the data is not good, why would they rush to mention this data earlier than everyone expected, while the stock price already tanked to the level that I guess all the shareholders are not very happy, including myself, right? And they're preparing, their CEO, interim CEO, has been saying many times the best outcome for the shareholders is probably sell the company, right? So they're probably in the process getting ready to talk to Big Pharma for acquisition. And if this data is not good, why would they choose to announce in such an important oncology conference right before the potential buyout, right? So that's just my thought, of course. So the next slide, let's talk about what we should expect from ASCO. Again, sorry, the typo. So first, let's take a look at the Keytruda clinical trial, 2014, Keynote-006 trial. That trial actually has 500 patients using Keytruda alone against melanoma, and 80% of those patients have received some kind of PD-1 inhibitor therapy before this clinical trial. And the results were 34% overall response rate, so that means about 34% of patients see their tumor shrink in the trial, and 6% in this trial, so about 30 patients in this trial, see tumor completely go away. And in 2022, Iovance actually announced the 202 phase 2 early results, had 10 patients using both Amtagvi and Keytruda. And with 60% of these patients in the study, so 6 of them, have received PD-1 inhibitor before having both Amtagvi and Keytruda. Overall response rate is really positive, 60%. So that means 6 out of 10 patients see the tumor shrink, and 25% see complete response rate. So that means those patients actually see the tumor completely gone. So in the ASCO May 2024 update, what we like to see for this 202 readout is first, of course, seeing more patient numbers, not 10, but hopefully some more. We don't know how many they're going to disclose. And also, we think the good case here is the overall response rate, at least better than the Keytruda one, right? Which is a standalone Keytruda back to 2014, it was 34%. But you need to be, I guess, at least a lot better or moderately better, right? So 35% probably cannot convince oncologists to also prescribe Amtagvi. So we're hoping to see the overall response rate to be over 50%. We believe that's a number will make it really clinically strongly suggest oncologists to give Amtagvi. And so for a complete response rate 6% in Keytruda itself, we're hoping to see complete response rate above 20%. I think these two numbers together will really persuade a lot of oncologists like, hey, we should give Amtagvi a try or Amtagvi plus Keytruda a try because the clinical data is pretty strong. What is a blowout case? That means, oh my God, that's so good that everybody will ask for Amtagvi plus Keytruda. Is the overall response rate for the whole group is above 60%. That will be a really, really strong data. And for this study, if they can disclose how many patients have received some kind of PD-1 treatment before, having both Keytruda and Amtagvi, and if this group of patients can have overall response rate larger or equal to 70%, that means 70% of the chance you're going to see, if you use both Keytruda and Amtagvi, your tumor is going to shrink. And the therapy time will last. The duration will be long, like the next 1.5 years, you probably don't need any chemo. Your tumor will shrink. 70% of the chance, will you take it or not? Right? Everybody, I believe, at least seeing this number, will say, please, I would like to have both, right? Again, it's not medical advice. That's just our personal, analysis. But this is what we think, what we should expect from the ASCO data. And if the 202 phase readout trial is good, what does that really mean, right? Since we talk so much about this, what does that mean? So first, again, patient doctors will probably start to push for Amtagvi for early treatment because especially Amtagvi requires surgery to take out some tumor sample and get the TIL ready, right? So oncologists will probably start to push for it as early as possible since they will require patients to be healthy to do all the surgeries and everything. So they might introduce Amtagvi early. That means second, Iovance might not even need to finish this 301 phase 3 trial, which will really consolidate the thesis that the TIL therapy really works, can be an early line treatment. They don't really need this 301 phase 3 trial to prove it. And third, of course, the Amtagvi demand will go up like crazy because now it could be working together with Keytruda to become one of the first-line treatment, and we'll probably see the demand of Amtagvi go up 4 to 5 times higher than what we estimated, around 500 patients by the end of 2024. So second half 2025, we're probably looking at 2,000 to 2,500 patients per year, and that will translate into Iovance stock into $30 to $37 itself, excluding the NSCLC, unsmall cell lung cancer. If that clinical trial data is even positive, then I think Iovance is going to shoot a lot higher, right? This $30 to $37 only consider melanoma itself. And the fourth, the big pharma buyout, we think Iovance will highly likely to be acquired before the end of this year if this 202 phase 2 readout is positive, because everybody know what does that mean, right? Big pharma are not blind. They know this data is good. That means this drug is going to sell. Merck patents is actually expiring on multiple cancers already for their Keytruda drug. So they probably will be really interested in purchasing IOVA. We just have to see. So finally, I just want to thank two people that have been helping us, give us a lot of idea about how Iovance will go, especially on this clinical trial. One is Biotech MD, Twitter account _Biotech MD. He or she has pushing out a lot of good content. So if you're interested in Iovance, make sure to follow his or her account. The other person I would like to thank is Precise SVJ, the Twitter handle. So he has been tweeting out some of the humorous but also fun and important fact about Iovance and other biotech stock. For example, he found out, or she found out, this person, MHR portfolio is actually now 41% under Iovance, which is really, really big money under Iovance. And this MHR fund is actually the second largest Iovance stockholder in our opinion. And yeah, 41% under Iovance, that means how confident they are. And this company, he actually or she pointed out that they also invest in the other movies as well. So very interesting read, and also make sure to follow his Twitter account. So yeah, make sure to follow us as well on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit, or Money Pig Trading. If you like our paid Discord membership where we share more investment and education, make sure to check us out on www.moneypigtrading.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.